All right, welcome back to another episode of Lachlan Chasing Greatness, or something along those lines. I have no idea where today's one will end up. To be honest, normally this isn't scripted, this isn't planned. This is just, in case you hadn't noticed, this is just me talking, getting that inner monologue out into the world. And yeah, I don't know where today's one will end up. To be honest, normally I come in with a plan of like a topic. I don't really have much today. I am flat as fuck. Today started really, really good, despite lack of sleep. Between staying up late to get the work done and my son, and then work, I got like 4 hours sleep. And then I hit a wall today, and I don't think it has anything to do with what I'm doing here. It has everything to do with circumstances around our life. We have decided that we're going to put down our dog. He's just not coping anymore. He's too old, and he's not living his best life anymore. He can't walk, he can't move around, and it's time. And that has honestly hit me way, way harder than I ever thought it would. To give you some, backstory, I didn't like dogs. I grew up, I never liked dogs. I was a cat person my whole life, and my wife changed that for me. She wanted a Great Dane, and therefore I bought her a Great Dane. That's that's what she wanted. So I wasn't going to stop that. And so I bought her one, and we bought our boy Licorice, and he changed everything for me. I loved him, and sadly now it's time to say goodbye. But that has, I don't know, it fully hit me today, and it's put me in a funk. And this is the hard thing with this kind of stuff, that life and emotions and all that shit is still there, but it doesn't mean you can't stop. It doesn't mean you can stop. It doesn't mean you can take the day off. It doesn't mean that you can call it quits. And, I've made bad life choices. Now 9:30 at night, and I could have done this at 7. My kids were somehow asleep by the time I got to work at 4:30 this afternoon. And my wife is asleep, and I could have had all the time in the world to bash out some work and really do something productive. And I didn't, because I was in a funk, and, you know. But that being said, that, as I said, this is a part of life. Shit happens, life happens, and though it's going to devastate me emotionally, it doesn't mean I can just sit back and be like, oh, woe is me, I'm just going to fucking quit on everything I said. No, fuck that. So I wallowed in self-pity a little bit. Now I got to get my shit done. Thankfully, I did my workout and my walks this morning. Crushed it in that rain with a 20-kilo weight vest. Got it done. And I've done my wallowing now. I watched some TV. I wallowed a little bit. And I'm going to finish this. I'm going to go to bed. And tomorrow I'm going to hit it again. Because you can't. Everybody thinks that emotions and feelings are just what they are. They aren't. You're still in control. You can change the state. Yeah, I'm sad, and it hurts. But I have people who count on me, and as a man, I have to be strong, and I have to be that thing. And like, I know there's this whole thing about more gentle side men, and I understand that, and there is a aspect of that I agree with and believe in. Like with my daughter, I am, and my son, like I am the gentlest and softest and kindest version of myself that is humanly possible. And, that is there. But at the same point, we have moved so far away from strong men that that weakness, and then we allow ourselves to wallow in it, and like, woe is my life, and this victim mentality, and you've got to take those emotions, and yeah, they're going to suck, and you handle them and you process them, but you channel them into the process. I'm going to use these emotions tomorrow and channel them into my workout, and I'm going to work through them by going to war with my body. I'm going to punish myself in that way to release the trauma of these emotions that's coming through and utilize that into something good. Does it mean I won't be sad? No, but I'm at least got to turn it on, because, as I said, I have people counting on me. My friends, my family, my kids, the people I lead, the people I work with, they are counting on me. And that doesn't mean I get to shut down from this. It doesn't mean I won't face these emotions, but I'll face them on my time, in my way. And I think this is much healthier than being like, oh, the world is shit, I'm just going to, hide from it and sedate. And this is the problem with having such readily available options on that, TV, social media, porn, junk food, spending online, all these kinds of things. We have instant access to instant gratification to, cope with our feelings. And we wonder why we're all actually more emotionally stunted than we ever were. Because we're not coping with our feelings, we're hiding from them. And, we can look to alcohol and drugs and all this kind of stuff, and we're just hiding and masking the problem. I'm overhearing conversations today, and I'm just like, they're like, oh, it was going really well. Thursday felt amazing. Friday was even better. Than Friday night, I had one glass, and then Saturday night, I had 3 glasses, and then Sunday night, we had 2 bottles. And I'm like, how the fuck does that happen? And they're like, oh, it's nice. And I'm like, yeah, I like wine too, but you are 100% covering up something. And I think that is also part of the problem, that we are so out of tune with ourselves because we're always being entertained with our phones, with everything that's going on. We never have to sit with our emotions. We never have to sit in boredom and just feel things. As I said, I am a proponent of, your strong-willed man, and that we don't break down and show these emotions like this. We don't get uplifted by, as bad as it is, by our wives. We need to be strong for them. We need to stand up and be the man and carry that burden, and then you come and share that burden with other men, and you deal with it through workout, you deal with it through work, you deal with it in that way, in a way that is going to be utilized and channeled into something more productive, because, and that'll just separate you, because we live in this victim culture that, even the smallest transgression is like, oh, I'm offended, oh, woe is me. And we need to step outside of that into something stronger and something more refined, and utilize that pain. Doesn't mean we don't feel it, doesn't mean it's not there, doesn't mean it goes away, but we can utilize it and process it and put it into something that will benefit us and make us happy again. And I think we need more of that. I think it's that whole concept of we need a purpose, we need a challenge, and we need to go to war with something. When those emotions come up, channel that into your purpose, channel it into crushing your challenge, and go to war with that as your armor. I've spoken about it before. Like, part of the problem of why I got here was I stepped too much into the light. The comfort, everything's just going with the flow, everything's good. And I think there is an aspect of that, like surrendering to the universe, but through action. I needed to step back into the dark where it hurts, because what was it I saw the other day? I was watching something on the exercise, and they're like, who hurt you? People who change their world, change their lives, change other people's lives, generally were hurt. And not that I'm saying that you want to be hurt, but you need to be able to channel the darkness, because you need to be able to go into a place that other people won't go. You have to be able to channel this pain into something positive, so that, especially if we're talking just straight up fitness, so that you can push yourself harder and further than ever before. Because when it's all, sunshine and rainbows, it's really, really difficult to go like, you know what, this pain that I'm going through, I'm going to dig deeper and make it worse. I'm going to push harder into this pain. No, if your life's, and you don't step into the darkness and your life's all like happiness and rainbows, you're going to be like, I don't like pain. I'm not going to deal with this. And then shock horror, nothing changes. So part of this is I need to step into the darkness. Why? Like, I think I was not called to, but it's part of why I allowed this to happen to me, to step back into this so that I had pain again to dig into, so that I could be like, I don't want to fucking be that person, you know? And sometimes we need reminders of that thing so that we can step into that and push forward on that. Sometimes those reminders take a long time to, sink into a thick, stubborn skull. So it has to get really bad before I'm like, shit, don't like this, gonna make a change. But that is the reality of it, that the darkness is required, because the darkness is where you forge yourself. The darkness is where you can push and, redefine yourself. It's where you can sculpt away the things you don't like. But you can't do that in the light. You have to step into the darkness to feel the pain, to feel the things that you don't like about yourself, about your life, about your world, and go to war with them to change it. It's why they talk about like fitness and business and things like that, to go do those things, you have to be a little bit insane. And as a sane person wouldn't keep going. They wouldn't be like, you know what, this was awful, and I'm just going to go do it again, and I'm going to keep pushing forward without rest. That is not a sane thing to do, but it's also, the sane people don't change the world, even if it's just your world. Living comfortably in your happy little bubble isn't going to change anything. In fact, it's probably a long, slow path to misery. So, yeah, I think we need to utilize the pain. We need that chip on our shoulder. We need a reason to get up and fight. We need to channel that aggression into something good. And what's better than sculpting your body, sculpting your life, your personality, your future? Like, what isn't a positive about that? It's the same concept as I don't understand why people wouldn't invest in themselves. Oh, I can't spend that money on myself. Why? Like, why would I? You're literally the person who creates more money, who generates your happiness, who determines whether your life is good or not. Don't you think that's worth investing in? The thing that determines every fucking aspect of your life? Don't you think it's worth investing in you? In, your health and fitness, in your mental toughness, in skills that push you forward to grow you to reach new heights. That money is never wasted as long as you do the fucking work that's associated with it. So invest in yourself. Channel that pain. Channel it into something that is worthwhile. Make something better of yourself from it. Don't wallow in it and then be like, oh, why doesn't anybody love me? Why is my life so awful? Because you're a fucking bitch and you're whinging about the shit that's going on. Own it. Let people know that that's why you're off a little bit, and then move the fuck on. Channel it into it. As I said, I am flat as shit today. But it's not an excuse. It doesn't excuse me from doing the work I committed to. In fact, it's more of a reason to go harder. And tomorrow, I just know that workout is going to be brutal. And it's going to feel amazing. Because I'm going to work through all these emotions, and I'm going to push them out, and I'm going to push them into the weight, and then push them into my muscles, and I'm going to feel better from it. I'm going to release all that built up, pent up, negative energy and turn it into something amazing. And that's how I think we should all live. I think we need to channel that. And like, when you're flat, even if it's nothing like this, even if it's just you're flat today, cool. You're still in control of your state. I was a bitch tonight. I let this flatness and this state push me into procrastination and negative habits that I don't want to participate in. I don't want to sedate with TV. I don't want to sedate with social media. So I just snapped myself out of it. And sadly, it took most of the night. And that's on me. And I need to be better on that. But it could have taken a week. It could have taken a month. Didn't. It's going to be one night, and I'm going to be back at it tomorrow, hitting it harder than ever. Because that's part of this chasing greatness is, returning to the ability to chase it as quickly as possible. It doesn't mean there aren't going to be, dips in the road that are going to derail you. That's just part of it. But the sooner you get back on track, the better off you'll be. So that's all I have for you. And I hope you enjoy it. And tomorrow I'll be back with a much better one, I am sure. Until then.